Welcome to another episode of Bat Crazy. Let's start in the US, where the ever-predictable liberal media is finding it very difficult to understand why the polls reflect a public more than satisfied with the new president's performance. In fact, Trump has just hit his highest approval mark of either term.
CBS News out with a new poll showing that Americans seem to be liking what they're seeing. But it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, I mean, look, but it's not just CBS. You know, I like to take an average of the polls. And holy smokes, I mean, look at what the difference is between now versus 8 years ago during the first Trump term, right? This is Trump's net approval rating on February 10th. You go back to 2017, Trump was already underwater at -5 points on the net approval rating. That's approval minus disapproval. What a difference 8 years makes. He's on the positive side of the ledger at +4 points. And again, it's not just the CBS News poll. We're talking about the Gallup poll. We're talking about the Ipsos poll. We are talking about the Pew poll. All of these respective pollsters have Trump in a better position now than they did 8 years ago. The bottom line is Americans are far more likely to say they like what they're seeing now versus what they felt during Trump's first term.
Okay, so how rare is this? Are you going to show us sort of where we're at now and how rare it is that this number
so
changed?
I want you to take a look at this plus sign, right? Compare that to the negative sign. Being on the plus side of the ledger, right? In positive net approval territory, a positive net approval rating for Donald Trump. Again, whoa. Entire first term, just 11 days, Donald Trump had a net positive approval rating. Compare that to the second term, just so far, every single day of Trump's second term so far, he has been on the positive side of the ledger. 21 days, all 3 weeks. That's already 10 more days than he was in his entire first term. So again, this is just another sign that Americans are far more likely to like what they're seeing in his second term than they were during his first term.
Is there something that Americans say about why it is that they like him now more than they did back in the first term?
Yeah, it's bizarre, I get it. I can see why they're a little bit confused. Can you imagine someone promising stuff to get elected, then, when elected, doing that stuff they promised on steroids all at once? I mean, he's likely to step down mid-year because all the shit he committed to doing will be done. It's strange, isn't it, that the general population, including those, by the way, who didn't vote for him, could feel an element of satisfaction. So to you guys who are finding this difficult, you keep trying to figure it out, and he'll just keep doing stuff that's in the best interest of the people, not only that you want, but desperately need to watch your programs. And your TV ratings will go that way, and his approval ratings will keep going that way. A quick moment to appreciate, again, this little gem from the Super Bowl. And this one. Now, yes, fair is fair, and the point must be made that she is dating a star player from the opposing team. But still, guys, it's Taylor Swift. I thought she was God. She's meant to be above, petty politics. Could it be, just maybe, and I don't know, I don't want to go too far out on a limb here, but could the shine be wearing off? Not just on her, but on all the celebrity types who lecture the masses from their glass houses. I mean, it feels like as good a time as any to remind you of this little bit of brilliance. And please, not that I would flatter myself to the extent that I'd assume any celebrities would watch my little show here. Even if you're D-grade, clinging on, please watch this and apply it to your everyday lives.
If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and... It's already 3 hours.
Elon Musk. The panic continues. It's unbridled. It's unhinged. And it is unbelievably glorious to watch.
Donald Trump is not staging a coup. Donald Trump is not staging a coup, and he never was. Donald Trump is a distraction. Donald Trump is a loudmouthed charlatan. Donald Trump is where they want you to look so that you're not looking at the guy who's taking over the treasury and dismantling the government from the inside out. Do we just stand and watch this happen? I'm so tired, and that's on purpose. I'm so tired, and I will not look away. They want us disengaged. They want us distracted. Don't let them take your attention away from this. The fate of our country literally depends on it. This is not a fucking joke anymore. God, I'm so fucking tired. We're just gonna do it tired, guys.
I mean, it is so good, in fact, that I've had to update my goat montage from last week. The Democrats, yes, they're back rallying the troops. They're even calling for get this, a street fight.
We're here today because an unelected billionaire and his team have been given full and unfettered access to our taxpayer money.
We have got to tell Elon Musk, nobody elected your ass. We are here to fight back. Hands off our democracy! Hands off! Elon Musk, where are you? Bring your ass over here.
Because we got some real fighting to do. This will be a congressional fight, a constitutional fight, a legal fight, and on days like this, a street fight. Yes, we will stand.
We have to fight this in the streets.
I am going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win.
Elon Musk.
To Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. The Elon Musk.
Elon Musk and
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But I do have to acknowledge, and this matters, it's important to note, real people are suffering as a result of Elon's purge on USAID. And my heart, it really does go out to them.
It's been, what? It's been like 2 weeks? 2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote? In 2 weeks, I went from the highest high to being unemployed. Lost my job last night, got a phone call. The repercussions of what Elon Musk are doing with the USAID has real repercussions for real people. For the last 7 years, I have been a shift lead on Project Bus, where we studied to find out if the wheels on the bus went round around or not. And all of a sudden, Elon, who's not even elected, gets in, and I'm out of a job. What do I tell my family? What do I tell my kids? This isn't a joke. This USAID stuff is not a joke, man. It's affecting real people. And the worst part is, what if we never figure out if in fact the wheels on the bus do go round and round? Does nobody care?
So the very real pain of people like that aside, and also his beautiful daughter who looked really, really traumatized, those people aside, let's just sum up the panic for the time poor amongst us, or those just not quite bright enough to get it. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. That means he has more money than he knows what to do with. He could fly to the moon and back 1,000,000 times on the Starship, releasing wads of cash out the window as he goes, whatever the space equivalent of a window is, and still die with billions in the bank. So that means, yes, this is a massive revelation, he's not plotting to steal your social security check. In fact, what he's actually trying to do is ensure you keep more of it. So if he can identify gross waste of taxpayer money, and that process is then stopped as a result, it means there's more left in the coffers. It might be used, I know, random idea here, for something that actually improves the lives of Americans, including you, maybe even something legitimate. Or they might decide you don't have to pay as much tax. Unlikely, I know, it's still the government. But if billions and billions of your dollars have been going to corrupt and farcical wastes of space on the kind of scale that's being revealed already this early on, then you might get a nice little discount down the track, a little tax break. Unless, of course, you want to keep funding sex changes in far-off places or the BBC. Sorry for legal reasons, just their charity arm. Speaking of the Brits, and we touched on Trump's popularity a little bit earlier on, and clearly it hasn't gone unnoticed by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who is not only failing abysmally in every single way possible, but is now not even hiding his complete desperation. The following was posted on his X overnight, and I quote, "Too many people are able to come to the UK and work illegally. We are putting an end to it." I know I shouldn't laugh, but come on. It's too late. Honestly, it's too late. And even then, it's the poor man's version of Trump's policies too. You can't just dip a toe in and hope it cleanses your whole body. It doesn't. And it's sad. It looks really sad. And on a more serious note, a little bit of advice, if I may. You have far bigger problems in your country right now than people coming and working illegally. I'd sort out the welfare of your innocent young women first and prosecute those who have not only harmed them, but enabled it for decades. I'd also dedicate some time to the fact that only 41% of 18 to 27-year-olds, where you lead, are proud to be British. That is shameful. You can hardly blame them though, can you? How can anyone take pride in a country that has conducted itself as yours has? Historically, yes, but also now, when you have the ability to overhaul and hold offenders and those who covered it up to account. But you choose not to. It's obvious why, by the way, we all get it. But it doesn't make it any less disgraceful. Speaking of disgraceful, and I want to start my piece on the Middle East by, well, changing the tone a little bit and sending every single little bit of love and strength I can to the families of those still held hostage in Gaza. I cannot imagine your pain, no one can. And that's just generally up until this point. How you must be feeling now, given this news, would be devastating, and that's not a strong enough word. Your pain was the first thing I thought about when I saw the news. I'm so sorry. And I'm of course speaking of Hamas announcing the postponement of the release of hostages this Saturday, and any more moving forward. They blame Israel for violating the agreement, which we all should know by now is rubbish. They then changed course and decided Trump was to blame for his plan to, and I quote, uproot our people. Because of course we know how deeply Hamas care about their people. A reminder to those at the back who need it louder, they are terrorists. In other words, they are evil. Lying scum is too kind a description. So they are trying to tell us that they are so offended and livid at a plan to potentially move their people out of the hellhole they created. That's what's got them so upset? Again, for those who need it louder in case you missed it, these are the same people who started a war they knew would kill their own people. The same people they use as human shields. The same ones they shoot point blank. The exact ones they pay to kill others. The very ones they urge to kill themselves. Yeah, this makes perfect sense. I'd be more likely to believe the backlash to the condition the 3 men released last week were in didn't quite garner the same reaction they expected, or, in their defence, had become accustomed to. Who could blame Hamas for being surprised? They've had a pretty smooth ride thus far. Their cheerleaders have been resolute in their support. But the Holocaust-like images we were exposed to proved to be too much even for some of their most devout and locked-on fans, it would seem. The fact so many needed that to realise the character of these cowards is on its very own unforgivable. But one can only assume the remaining hostages are in as bad as or worse condition, and that is unfathomable. Donald Trump has responded with this.
Well, I would say this, and I'm going to let that because that's Israel's decision, but as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock, and after that, I would say all hell is going to break out. And I don't think they're going to do it. I think a lot of them are dead. I think a lot of the hostages are dead. I think it's a great human tragedy what's happened, how people can be that mean to do. I'm speaking for myself. Israel can override it, but from myself, Saturday at 12 o'clock, and if they're not here, all hell is going to break out.
Thank God. Look at what he's done so far. Show me one person who won't believe him. Joe Biden said this regarding Iran and their bad intentions.
I have one word. Don't. Don't.
And what did they do? Just days later, they killed US troops. His words meant nothing. And this is why it drives me crazy when people say to me, I can't believe you like Donald Trump. Some of the stuff he says, the way he says it, how he's spoken about women in the past, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Human beings are flawed. We all are. He is, I am, you are. But if you would rather millions die in conflicts that are only in existence due to US weakness, because the bloke who could stop them once said something a little bit crass, then you need significant help, not me. I care more about peace than I do about perfection. And just have a quick flick through who President Trump surrounds himself with as well and puts in positions of immense power. A lot of women in there. Strong, capable, impressive women. In fact, the one who was RNC co-chair and, in my humble opinion, the most influential for him in winning the election, Lara Trump, is testament to that. So praying for the hostages, their families and all of those affected. But comforted by the fact that there is now a leader in power who means business, who understands that peace through power is the only way, that the language of strength is the only one weak terrorists understand, who keeps his word. We all wait with bated breath and hope in this order for the return of the hostages and the destruction of Hamas for good.